All right, folks, we're back. We had a little bit of nerd rage. The guy had too much Red Bull. Lucky fool managed to screw the pooch and unplug the entire get-up here. He had one cord. There was one cord that he could not step on. He could have stepped on anything else and we'd have been fine. He would have kept things together a little bit longer. But no, he had to step on the wrong cord and literally shut down everything we have set up for our casting. So once again, I'm AC. That's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG LAN event #1, brought to you by Gosu.com, by Red Bull, and by Steel Series. So we're getting ready to jump into a hell of a matchup, if I'm not mistaken here, Red Mage.
Oh yeah, we're going to drop into Orb taking on VT Avalo for the first time today. It's a PVT, excellent, and last week, of course, Avalo wasn't here, but Orb did a great job at absolutely decimating me in a matchup. So I really can't wait to see what he does to Avalo here, because both of them are such great players. So we're going to hop into the game right now and get rocking and rolling.
All right, so moving right into the game here. This is, again, the IG LAN event #1, Red Bull Steel Series. It's Gosu, and our normal round of advertisers as well. Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So definitely moving in here. This is going to be a double elimination bracket we're doing here. So go get yourself a drink, go get a crack open a beer, whatever, on this beautiful, beautiful Memorial Day weekend. We've got a lot of StarCraft on the way for you, and some truly quality players going to be joining us as well. So jumping right into the game, going to be on Tal'Darim Altar. And, we get to watch Avalo so often. It's always so fun to watch him. And especially on maps of this size, it is so interesting to see, just because he favors that slow, almost, creeping expansion with tanks and with turrets. And going to be taking on a quality player in his own right, Orb. And they're going to be spawning in cross spawn positions as well, with Orb spawning in the orange down here in the bottom right and Avalo up in this top left position. We maybe need to settle in for quite a long game here.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you think Avalo would, if he didn't play as third, do you think he'd favor spreading a lot of creep and just putting on spine crawlers absolutely everywhere?
Yeah, that's kind of the equivalent. Yeah, that's exactly the equivalent of how he plays. It's like basically making, your late game push being made of spine crawlers and broodlords. That's kind of the Avalo style.
That's right. No, we have Arkansassy in the chat. Hi, Arkansassy. Knowing Avalo quite well, and she's rooting for Avalo right there. So.
Rooting, is that what the kids call it these days?
Yeah, rooting, rooting for Avalo right there to win, and always kind of cool to see different matchups, because usually when with these kind of events we tend to see a lot more TVT and not as many TVPs, but so far we've seen a Zerg, we've seen a Protoss, we've seen a lot of Terran, but this is it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, we've got a great mix of players here. We've got a pretty good number of players. We'll actually bounce that bracket up for you here shortly, so you can get a look at that. But and so far, just seeing kind of the cream rise to the top. We've got that losers bracket. I haven't taken a look at that yet, but I have no doubt. I know IG's own SKS Dark, who's competing today, made it out of the first round. Unfortunately, things didn't quite go his way in the second round, but he's going to be playing again in the losers bracket, and he's going to be a guy to watch out for down in that bottom bracket to make it all the way back up and try and contend for the finals.
Oh yeah, now we see Avalo right now is throwing down that barracks on the far right hand side up here at Tal'Darim Altar, and he's really gonna that's going to give him good vision on the other side to make sure there's going to be no sort of blink stalkers, any sort of warp prism nonsense right there. I still would like to see somebody else do the warp prism drop of the Colossus. That's still probably the best thing I've ever seen at
honest to God,
all time.
If you're not tuning in to all of our IG events, $20 a month, $2,500 in cash and prizes this spring alone. But if you haven't tuned in yet, we get to see stuff like freaking Colossus drops. Okay, that was like the whole strat. I can't remember who did it. It was one of our King of the Hills, and the whole strategy was, I'm going to make a Colossus, just one, and a Warp Prism, just one, and I'm going to drop it in your mineral line and see what happens. Lots and lots of fun. So we see the Nexus.
On Crevasse of all things.
Yes, on GSL Crevasse, exactly. So we see this Nexus down here out of Orb. He's going to be good. Getting that Nexus down pretty damn quick off of one gateway. And, he's got the probe out. He's been poking and hustling around, but he doesn't have a whole hell of a lot in terms of army size. So he's going to be quite a bit ahead of his opponent. And Avalo's going to have this small little timing window where he's got to punish this Nexus, otherwise he's going to be quite far behind economically.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you guys want to take a look at the brackets for everything that's going on, I know I saw a couple of people asking about that. Go to itsgosu.com. On the very bottom of the page, you'll see the IG LAN event #1. Just click on that, and it'll show you the brackets right there. They should auto-update, and that way you can see how the field is actually going out between the winners or the upper bracket and the losers bracket to see how things are going there. And you'll be able to, chat. You can try to chat live with the players here at the Justin TV. Or you can go to BattleNet and go to the DC LAN channel or the It's Gosu channel, and you might have a chance to talk to everybody.
Don't do that quite yet, though. Looks like Avalo sniffed it out. He knows now's the time to push, and Orb's going to be caught with his pants down. The bunker's going to go down now for Avalo, and looks like he's kind of hedging his bets, going to move in. Actually, that SCV tanking a good bit of damage. The Stalker on the run again, and he's brought enough SCVs that he's going to be able to lose 1 or 2 and still maintain this pressure. Now the Marauder's caught up, and he's actually got the concussive shell on that as well, so he's going to lose that Stalker, and Orb doesn't have anything else to deal with this. Nothing at all.
Yeah, this is absolutely crazy right now. You see the immediate bunker rush right there. The one Marine starting to take out the Nexus. That entire worker line going down for Orb right now. Unbelievable right now as more and more units stream their way across the field to get here. That pylon's going to go down. That's going to almost supply block them. That would have been very, very
well, at
deadly.
this point, you're basically at a GG moment. I mean, Orb got really, really greedy there. It's one thing if you get up 2 gateways and you try and use 1 or 2 Stalkers and a Zealot to pressure a Terran, and then you expand behind that. Orb didn't even go to the trouble of doing that at all. All he did was basically make 1 gateway, then decide we wanted to expand, and Avalo just being so sharp as always, punishing it just perfectly. And there's not a whole hell of a lot that Orb's going to be able to do to bounce back from this.
Oh yeah, this is going to be absolutely devastating right there. Orb is going to be so far back and behind from this. It's going to be unbelievable right there. He did manage to take out a bunker there at this point, but with those 3 STDs right there, he's going to be able to easily, just keep those going.
And there goes the Nexus, so at that point, Orb's got a GG. I mean, he's invested too much and lost too much. Avalo can basically just continue to reinforce this position while he gets his own expansion. We do see the command center just beginning back home in his natural, and being safe as always. If there's any word in the world that'll sum up VT Avalo, it's safe, getting a couple of bunkers up back home and not trying to push an auto GG. Looks like he's actually just going to leave the bunkers, and this is what we talked about and why a lot of Avalo's games have that reputation of just being so, you don't want to call them boring because they're not. It's amazing SC2 play. But the thing is, he's so very safe at all times that moments like now when a lot of players would go, okay, now I'm going to push and try to win, Avalo just says, nah, screw it. I've got the advantage. That's all I need. Now I'll take 15 bases and mine out my half of the map and get a win that way.
Oh yeah, and that's very, very smart play there by Avalo, because you kind of instill the fear right there. He is trying to salvage those bunkers.
Got one of them. He lost one.
The other one got blown up. So he did get 75% of those minerals back for the one, and of course lost the other one entirely. But that's very smart of Avalo. He went in, did all kinds of damage, destroyed that expansion there, all those workers that had already been transferred. So that really put Orb on kind of like an offbeat right now, and now he's going to have to try to probe up, create what he can, and try to move forward. But right now his cage is rattled. That cage is done.
Well, he's got to go ahead and expand here, and I understand this. You just say, okay, I know I've got to do something to pull myself back into the game. I can either try to do it now, or I can try to do it in the mid-game, maybe with a drop, or with something of that sort, trying to catch my opponent off guard with DTs or something like that. But really, Orb, if he wanted to try and do damage, he would have had to try to do it now to try and catch up. That's not going to happen. And the problem with, when you're facing what Avalo is throwing at him, he goes, okay, I've got a lead on you now. I'm ahead, and I'm going to bunker up super hard. I'm going to build 3 friggin' bunkers and build a wall at this choke to make it so you can't even try to push back and damage me. Every moment that the game goes on from this point out, Avalo's going to get further and further ahead. Right now is the slimmest time whenever Orb's disadvantage is going to be its smallest. Every 15, 20 seconds, every production cycle that Avalo continues to go undamaged by Orb, he's going to be further and further ahead.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely, and that's exactly why you're the pro commentator, AC, is because that kind of insightfulness is going to come out of you as opposed to me, because I'm just going to make weird movie references and strange comments.
Just don't mention Casper Van Dien. If you do, I'll kill you. I'll burn you.
Although who was the actor in that single day release Tarzan?
And you are the only person on the planet. Even the guy who directed that shitburger couldn't answer that question. Somehow you're like, oh yeah, Casper Van Dien. I know his whole freaking filmography. Why?
That's right,
just to annoy AC. Just to annoy this guy.
That guy right there. Gotta do it.
If you're just joining us in the stream, by the way, I'm AC. That's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG LAN event #1 brought to you by Gosu.com. We're down at Cybergrounds in Fairfax, Virginia. If you happen to be in the area, stop by. We've got some amazing play, VT Avalo and Orb right now, and this is the first game of this series. We actually had to join our last series in the middle of it when one game had already been played. But of course, check out Gosu.com if you're curious about the brackets. You can go there right under the community events. You'll see IG DC LAN #1. The brackets will be there waiting for you, as well as our full calendar and all of the events we've got going on. So it's a pleasure to have you here with us. And Orb, again, he's playing solid. I mean, the guy's not a bad player. We've seen Orb. We saw him in the Lucky Fools tournament last weekend, and he's a good player. It's just right now he's going to continue to fall further and further behind, and we're getting dangerously close to that point where Avalo throws down 1 billion tanks and tries to just do what he does. And actually it looks like he's going to be trying to favor the bio build for a little bit longer. So, I'm not sure how that's going to stack up, but even if you look at the supply, Orb was behind about 12 or 15 supply just a minute or two ago, and now that's up to 30, and that's only going to get higher and higher, especially if this drop by Avalo that we see moving down the right side of the map does the damage it might be able to do. There's nothing back here to defend at all, so he's going to be able to land this without any sort of contention at all. So here we go. The stem goes off. The probe's pulled almost immediately. Still going to lose a good chunk of them. Now the Stalker's coming back. A little bit of confusion here. Chinese fire drill with the sentries all moving away while the Stalkers move in. Stalker's not going to match up too well against this sort of a composition. And wow, Avalo doing so much damage here, just picking off tons of Stalkers and Zealots. Those 2 medevacs are just plenty enough to keep these guys alive for a while. And now going to pull back, and he's actually going to spot the Colossus as well. So not just doing a lot of damage, but getting a good scout on where his opponent is in the tech path as well.
Oh, yeah, what a great job there by Avalo. Really trying to throw off his opponent, trying to do a double push. He did the drops in the background. Now he's trying to move up that small force right up the main ramp, but those sentries were able to keep him suppressed. What a great job there. That's great job by Avalo. Great job by Orb to not totally freak out. For the most part, although he did lose quite a few probes.
There was a bit of a misclick there. You saw all of his sentries moving back up, and I understand they wanted to force field this off, but moving all of his sentries when there was a drop that really was just not going to be dealt with too well by Stalkers in small numbers. He lost a lot more there than he should have, and this is going to be crippling if this drop lands. I'm not sure how Orb's going to be able to deal with this, really. He's got the Colossus out, so it's really going to depend on his reaction time. Definitely, he may lose that robotics bay. No, it looks like Avalo's just going to rush ahead and try and take down the robotics facility itself. The Zealots now moving in. Again, going to stem, going to start doing the little stutter step action to try and target fire down what probes and what production facilities he can. It manages to get the Forge. So Avalo going to escape with relatively small losses, and looks like he's also going to try and push up the front here. May be able to pick off, wow, a little bit of an overreaction there. There's only 4 Marines and 2 Marauders, but either way, Avalo just playing so strong. And, it's like we were talking about. Once Avalo denied that expansion and set Orb back so far, if we look at the supply again, just getting wider and wider, up to almost 50 now.
Oh yeah, just absolutely insane. And right now you see that Avalo is starting to. He was starting to pull back those medevacs. He's starting to move them back in again now. This is so typical of him. He'll make you think that he's going away, and then he comes right back. And although Orb is definitely expecting such shenanigans because he's got that nice ball of Zealots and that one Colossus.
And moves him out almost on cue, and Avalo going to drop right back in. And wow, that's got to be so frustrating. The probes being forced to pull again, and the concussive shell really doing great. He may be able to take down this Colossus. Oh, that Colossus rushing in naked gets absolutely annihilated. So Orb now down to about a 60 supply deficit. Just keeps getting worse and worse. And you can't blame the guy for wanting to hang in, but this game essentially ended once he lost that fast expand Nexus, and Avalo now taking his 3rd as well. So really, I just don't see. I mean, is there anything, in your opinion, you think Orb can do to really pull himself back to even?
Yes.
Mothership.
The mothership is the only
I'm just going to stop asking you. I'm just going to stop asking you these questions because the answer is always going to be mothership or Nidus Canal, one or the other.
He needs them. He just has to. Oh wow! He moves in that small group that was just out there, just as those units pulled over to go inspect the 3rd area to make sure there's no proxy actually going on, and he was able to move in there and really draw that whole army back in. Killed off a couple of probes, but again, it's just harassment. That's all it is. All you need to do is constantly harass your opponent until he completely freaks out snaps his keyboard in half, and then therefore he can no longer play the game.
Or does like Lucky Fool did to us, comes back and unplugs the entire stream and forces us to go offline, even though he wins.
He was just tired of your good commentary. That's all it was. How dare you? How dare you, sir? You did such a good job commentating. Well, that chucklehead sits behind you and cackles.
Oh, I'm only me because of you. All the bromance in the world here. So Orb going to get a few Archons here, and Archon's going to help deal a little bit with the kiting that's made possible by the concussive shell of the Marauders.
Coming in too. They're coming on the right-hand side. It's going to pop right over that little leg area and come right in, and yet again completely upset Orb right there with just more and more things. You know, his
army is nowhere near here, by the way. He has literally nothing that's going to be able to come back and deal with this. He's going to lose a bunch of pylons, and to tell you the truth, if Avalo target fired down this Nexus, he could probably take it out before the army arrives. I don't think he has any clue how far away the bulk of the main army was. So managing to do a good bit of damage to one Marine left behind. That sucks. Somebody's got to
that poor Marine was just absolutely assaulted.
Well, now that Avalo's drawn that army all the way back home, he's going to run up. The sentries, though, good force field's going to literally cut that army in half. Great job there, using the medevacs to pull him back. Just great control there by Avalo, not trying to force the issue unless it suits him. And he wasted so much sentry energy there, but there is such a high sentry count. It looks like that's kind of Orb's plan. He just wants to hang on until he can hopefully hold out to a 200 versus 200 army clash. That'd be about the only way he's going to try and get back to even. Being very aggressive, though. I like this with the expansions. Taking his third. It looks like he's gearing up to maybe take a fourth or at least clear the spot for it. And really, if he can survive a little bit longer and maybe get up another expansion, he's going to have a chance to close the gap between him and his opponent.
Oh, yeah, you're very right about that, AC. Yeah, sorry about the echo, guys, right there. It's because AC and I are actually sitting right next to each other again. And you know, of course, he's using his super cool mic, and I'm using my super cool mic. That's probably what you're picking up, but I'm going to swap out the mics there for my less than good mic, so that way you can hear him crystal clear, and me, I'll be a little bit
well, I think the problem is the direction on the pickup for your mic's a little bit high. It shouldn't be picking me up. As far as I know, my mic's not picking you up at all because mine's a unidirectional mic.
Yours is balling. That's
mine
is just a ball.
A snowball, in fact.
A snowball, if you will.
So, Avalo playing his style, really, and this is where he kind of gets dangerous for a player like Avalo. He hasn't cracked his opponent yet. He's harassed the shit out of him, of course, but, you know, if he hits 200 and allows his opponent to get up to 200 out of 200 supply, where's the benefit to that? I mean, you know, he has this, you know, once he got that advantage, he's had a long time. As we approach the 23-minute mark now in this game, he's had a ton of time to try and crack Orb and go ahead and get the GG. But now that he's played basically harassment-based play only and really hasn't been as aggressive as he should have been, you know, every moment that goes by now, Orb's kind of starting to close the gap. So, again, if Orb can hold on a little bit longer, he's really got a chance to make a game of this when he was all but down and out just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, you know, so hopefully the audio is fixed right there on that, guys. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully in the next 5 or 10 seconds. Possibly. So, all right, so hopefully we're still on the stream there.
Right.
But hopefully I am. Nope, they're just talking about the game right there. But, yep, we see a little bit of action coming there right on the right-hand side. Looks like, you know, Avalo's going to go ahead and bring in a fleet of Vikings there. And I like Vikings because they're like Transformers. You can just... And then all of a sudden you just start assaulting things on the ground and then just pop right back up.
And they don't shape up too well against gateway units, so that's the problem with them. They're not exactly the best ground fighters in the world. And it looks like this is more of a scouting party than it is anything else. Getting a little sloppy with him. Now actually going to land him down, so he's already lost 2. He's going to be able to take down 1 Stalker, going to lose a 3rd. Good blink there by Orb, getting that 1 damage Stalker out of the way, so a bit of a waste of resources there. Avalo, though, using the knowledge that he gained, going to move on along this right side and try and crack Orb's 3rd, or actually this would be his 4th. Orb quick to react, though, so looks like Avalo is going to know he probably shouldn't force the issue too much after being spotted by that pylon. Going to withdraw back. And again, after Orb falling further and further behind in the supply count, now he's only 20 down. So Orb doing a great job holding on and trying to pull even. And it looks like I'm solo casting, at least for the moment. Red Mage has decided to unplug himself. You joint.
No, we're good to go.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Why don't you check your, make sure that your stream is not live, because that might be it, because there's hearing a lot of stuff on your side. So, all right there, we're going to get right into the actual AC. Just double check. No. Do you have the stream open to like chat or whatnot? No. Okay. All right. Well, we're trying to fix it, guys. Sorry about the echo right there. We see a massive engagement going on right now in the center of the battle.
Yeah, we see a massive engagement here. So Orb actually coming out what seems to be ahead here. He's taken some losses, and kiting those Archons doesn't work anymore now that they're massive units. The concussive does not apply to him. Great storm there by Orb. Orb, absolutely, I can't believe this. Orb has almost pulled himself back even now after being so far behind. Avalo at 140 supply, Orb at 124. And, really it's paying off. Him holding in and dealing with all of Avalo's harassment. And this is kind of the risk you run anytime you say, okay, I'm going to get a lead and just harass my way to a victory. There's a certain time for that, and if you don't push whenever you need to push to secure the victory, you're going to wind up in a situation like this where the opponent that you had literally down and out is all of a sudden back on level with you, and all it takes is one battle, like we just saw, for him to really pull himself pretty much even.
Oh yeah, we see, that was a great job by Orb taking full advantage of that. Now he's going to be able to come back out, take some map control, really have himself a good time here, and put the shoe on the other foot, so to speak, to Avalo. Right now Avalo is going to have to pull back, reassess what he's doing, and of course, Orb's got those observers in the base right now, so we can see where that army is, really structuring. If it's going to, how it's going to line up, so he can really stack himself up. As you can see, he's moving a little bit further to the top side here. He's going to start taking out that fourth expansion area there.
Oh yeah, Avalo's army completely out of position, moving out towards the center of the map. Now we see Orb going to pull back, so maybe losing. It looks like we're going to have a confrontation here. Orb's going to have the high ground, and really it's going to come down to EMPs are really going to determine this. We're going to see the nuke go down, so trying to bait Orb into it. I don't think Orb sees it. Oh wow, if he stands there, oh, this nuke's going to land, JR. Oh, Red Mage, here it comes. Oh, Orb, what have you done? Oh, he lost it. Oh, great gambit there by Avalo. Orb still coming out on the bad side of things there, down the 123, and now two more ghosts going to move in. Going to be, looks like, just flat out mishandled there. So the sentry's using the force fields to try and even the score. Avalo still coming out quite a bit ahead. He's got the good upgrades, but so does his opponent. 3-3 versus 3-3 here, and we're in a flat-out slugfest, Red Mage. This is nothing but haymaker after haymaker.
Oh yeah, just completely going bonkers here. We see that Avalo is going to start floating another base over there into that other expansion area, and you see him just coming out in a huge line right there, thwarted by some sentries, throwing down the scan, seeing what's actually there. We see a little bit of a stem action going on. They're trying to catch up with those sentries, take them out as quickly as they can, and right now, Orb is just pulling things back right now. He does have a couple of...
Well, you just get the impression that Orb's run out of steam. He put forth a heroic effort to get close, but then he just kind of screwed the pooch in that last battle. And wasn't really, you might want to put yourself on D&D there, my friend. But, he really wasn't in, he wasn't in the best of shape moving into that battle. But he had clawed and fought to get himself back to even. But now all of a sudden, Avalo just miles and miles ahead. Orb continues to take some expansion and is really trying to hold on again. But that last battle, I think, might have been just a little bit too much for him to hope to hold on now that we move into the extreme late game.
Sorry, I was trying to chat with Mr. Minimi, who is also, we want to thank Mr. Minimi as well as Torn Hire for helping us out. But yeah, we see a lot of action. We see more Archons trying to come into fruition right now as Avalo's army just started assembling on the left side of that center area post, and all kinds of stuff are just going absolutely. Oops, as I press the wrong buttons, I'm using the wrong mouse. I'll tell you what, this is the first time I try to use two mice, and it's not even working out. Oh, there you go. Yeah. You guys don't need to see my friends list. well, AC is showing you guys the camera there on the stream. I'm showing, my camera is showing everybody that's watching us live here at Cybergrounds what we're looking at. So of course, anytime I'm doing something on my computer, it shows up over there.
I just heard a nuke fire off, and I don't know where it was.
I was looking for it here a second ago, but I don't see it either. I don't see any blue dots anywhere.
Well, Avalo still quite a bit ahead. He needs to push soon, though. He's nuking somewhere. I just have no clue where. There it is, over here at the top expansion. So this is going to land. Doesn't look like it's going to do a ton of damage, maybe a pylon or two, and he's just continuing the nuke. They're throwing off another nuke using that high ground, just basically trying to cut down the mining. And while this is cute and all, he's a 200 out of 200 supply. He needs to push right now. Just letting Orb sit back and try and catch up in terms of supply, it does no one any favors. So Avalo continuing to just hang out near the center of the map.
Oh yeah, doing more and more damage right there, goading that army into of orbs right there, trying to pull them back farther and farther as more and more things just start happening all over the board there. We see those zealots trying to rush in right now, trying to get what they can, but with all those
great EMPs, amazing EMPs, going to nullify those Archons. Oh, so nasty. And again, Orb seems to have really just kind of run out of steam. This is the bulk of his army right here. Very Archon heavy, and with that many ghosts on the field for Avalo, not going to match up all that well. What few beefy units he did have, those Immortals, very dependent on their shields as well. So this is just such a high Marauder count out of Avalo. He's up to damn near 24, right about 22 of them. And this is going to be Orb's last stand, I do believe. And unless he can hold this is going to be a GG here in just a few minutes.
Oh yeah, and right there, and the stream would like to add more sound. They're not hearing a lot of game sound out of you there, AC.
I've got the game sounds up. That's fine. I'll turn them up here in just a minute. We see two nukes going off here behind Orb. Avalo's lost a good chunk of units, and it looks like the armies, the nukes are going to land. And it actually, I think that got more of Avalo's units than it did of Orb's.
All right, yeah, that was absolutely brutal right there coming in through there. Then more those ghosts just going right back in, and 4 more nukes, getting ready to be made right now. 2 more coming in. They're going to be absolutely.
Oh, tons of nukes on the way down here.
This base here of Orbs.
And here they go. They're going to land. The gateway's not going to survive the night. Oh, there goes the majority of his productions facilities. So Avalo really selling out to the nuke here. Six nukes in production at this moment. 6 of them.
Wow, this is absolutely brutal. Just more and more nukes going on in the home front there, and the army in Orb's army right now is just so far out of key right now.
Avalo's got a billion command centers that he's made for no reason that are get spotted over here on the left, and they're going to be taken out. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Avalo was in a commanding lead. Now he's not that far ahead of his opponent. I mean, he just really isn't.
Yeah, there's more and more things just coming in right now. Those Archons do what they can to try to snipe down that orbital command, and we just have those poor SCVs. We're just huddled in a corner. We're just waiting for those guys to come in and just absolutely assault them. But yeah, right there you can see just the devastation of that base. Just wrecked, just completely erased right there, and 2 more orbital command or two more command centers flying out right now, and Orb's getting
and he's still nuking this Nexus at the top right. I just want to point that out. Look at this. I mean, Jesus Christ!
I don't know how many nukes he's launched just at that one area.
Right. This should be the one. It's going to be close. He must have dropped at least 8 nukes over here. So we're going to see this one land. Kaboom! Yes, finally the Nexus. Now maybe Avalo will go win.
We see more and more High Templar coming in right now as they try to come in. They're more likely going to make up their Archons because that's just what Orb's favoring right now. There's just tons of Archons. We just see that the Ghost is trying to go into. Oh, he's trying to catch that huge stack of. He's trying to stop him right here.
Yes, he's going to get all the Templar. There it is! Didn't get all of them, but got enough of them. I wish we had a camera on the crowd, the entire crowd up on their feet here at Cyberground. So
another going off there, just off to the side there, just behind the reeds. Just nukes going off absolutely everywhere. This is devastation. It is great. It's 6 more nukes being made right now for Avalo. Well, he's just trying to completely dominate everything, and he's going to drop yet another.
But what's bizarre, look at the supply count, though. Just look at the supply count. No, it's not. It's not almost even. Orb's ahead.
Yeah, by 8. Well, now he's up there. But Avalo just keeps dropping further and further away. But this is unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean, Orb hanging in. I guess he's collected his bottle caps for the nuclear holocaust we've seen here, trying to hang in. And this has just turned into kind of a bizarre matchup. I mean, Avalo. It seemed like he had this game in the bag. Instead, we've seen nukes, Archons, High Templars, Zealots. You name it, we've seen it. And, we're honestly getting to the point where we're going to see another nuke going off just kind of 'cause. I mean, you may as well just waste a nuke to kill one gateway. I mean, it makes sense to me, right?
That's proper use of force right there. That's not excessive.
Wait, this is what you call shock and awe. This is more to convince the public back home that you're that far ahead. So, but again, Avalo is actually a little bit behind.
Dropping right now on that left-hand expansion right there for Orb. And those Marauders and Marines coming in, just completely sacking out the cannons that were there, the one pylon. And then now we see the Archons march in. But yeah, again, you're forcing Orb to keep checking every little corner, every little nook and cranny for ghosts.
No, just for ghosts. Don't worry about drops. Just for ghosts. Nukes are all we care about.
The red button is the thing.
Exactly. Where are all these damn ghost academies he's got hidden somewhere? He's got to have a million of them. There they are.
Yeah, they're all the way up at the top. Oh, there's a few at the top there.
Yeah, I'm counting.
He's just got them scattered everywhere.
I'm counting 5 nukes he has, at least just in this little cluster. So, yeah, he's going to be quite capable. But really, I mean, look at Orb. Orb seems to be, I dare say, in the commanding position at the moment. I mean, I'm looking around the map. Avalo's mined out pretty much everywhere. He's almost mined out over this third. The fourth is just now getting down. The rocks aren't even done. This is probably the only real functional, fully functional base he has. And in the meantime, we see, you know, Orb, he's almost mined out over here, mined out at his natural and his main. But this is going just fine. I heard 2 more nukes. Where'd they going?
Check it around right now for them.
I'm looking everywhere.
I don't see them anywhere. Oh, there they are. They're going to be on the left-hand expansion right there, right about the.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Just in time to catch tons of stuff.
But now 2 more.
Yeah, we're just going absolutely bonkers right here. You know, I'm hoping that
when these zealots are going to warp in, the zealots warp. Oh, is he going to run the army? What's he doing?
Oh no!
Oh no, he's going to pull him back. Oh!
Pretty much nuked out another one. Oh, fantastic. You know, instead of building tanks this game, he's building nukes. This is a nuke style that we see out of Avalo here. You know, tank rush is getting a group rush. What's he going to do right there? He's just absolutely brutalizing him right now with the thing. It's, you know, this is a terrible, terrible thing to just keep doing to Orb. You know, and this going, you know, and of course, Orb last week completely humiliated me with the 5 Phoenixes.
And a TVP. Well, another nuke gonna go off now as Orb tries to push over at this left-hand expansion. That's a ton of Marauders though, and he's whoa, Avalo's running right underneath of his own nuke. Yeah, good job canceling that, turning away and running back home. And this has just been this bizarre dance. Archons, Stalkers, and Zealots, oh my, always looking for the sky to fall. So many nukes have been dropped. At least I'd say 25 nukes have been dropped this game, something like that. At least. So now he's going to try and push, going to feed back the Ghost. Great control there by Orb. The Ghosts go down, and now Avalo caught a little bit out of position. Doesn't look like it's going to do a ton of damage, though. He's going to be able to fend this off pretty easily. There it is. The GG from Orb finally calling it after an amazing game 1 in this best of 3. We got at least one more game in this, Red Mage.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be absolutely brutal here. Orb just taking a huge brunt. Yeah, absolutely huge brunt of a huge nuke force being completely obliterated by Avalo, literally being obliterated. It's some sort of holocaust.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us once again. I'm EC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG LAN event #1. And don't do that.
No, I'm sorry, I'm my things to move out.
All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, guys, thanks once again. We're going to be bringing you more games in just a second. This is the IG LAN event #1, brought to you by Gosu.com, by Red Bull, by SteelSeries, and, of course, by our other advertisers, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jiu-Jitsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. And we're going to go ahead and make sure we get Red Mage's audio fixed up. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have our next game lined up for you in just a second. What happened?
I don't know. It just started going
In your ear?
No. Well, I'm listening to the stream in my ear, but people are. Nice job, Evelyn. Yeah, now it's completely just doing it for everything. Like your audio, my audio, everything.
Really?
Yeah, everything's skipping.
You want to take it down and bring it back up?